Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for our virtual information session. Today, we're going to be talking about our travel and tourism and air cabin crew courses. My name's Amy Smith, and I'm the marketing manager here at East Coast College. Just to make you aware, we are recording this session this evening, so we can pass the recording on to any students who were unable to attend, but none of your details will be able to be seen in that recording. So as I said, in this session, we're going to be covering our travel, tourism and air cabin crew courses. And I'm joined by some of our tutors who will be telling you a bit more about the courses, the kind of things you will study, and also answering some of your questions as well. So on your screen, you will see there is a Q&A box. You can type any questions you have as we go through the presentation in there. And what we will do is we will answer all of your questions live at the end. So we will leave some time at the end to answer those for you. So feel free, anything springs to mind as we're going through to type those in that box. Okay, so I'm going to start off by handing you over to Amber, who is going to talk a little bit about her career background. So over to you, Amber.
My name is Amber. I'm the course tutor here at East Coast College for travel and tourism. So I wanted to first of all just talk to you a little bit about my experience, because it is really important that whoever teaches you has got the right experience and knowledge to actually pass it on to you to help you further yourself. So I actually started out at Lowestoft College myself, and I gained a 2-year qualification in travel and tourism. I did work experience in a travel agent, worked in a travel agency, then worked in a tour operators. I went on to do a degree in tourism management, which then ended up with me working for an airline, a charter airline, worked in product development and worked in airfares. And once I'd finished my university course, I worked for an outbound specialist operator. And I started off as marketing executive, then marketing manager, and then I moved over into product management. So really, really exciting career. Has taken me lots of places around the world. I spent 4 years out in the United States, building up my skills as well. So travel and tourism is a really, like I said, it's a really, really happy career path. You are going to see, lots of places around the world, and you are really going to, it's going to be really fulfilling. And we're all really passionate about the subjects we teach. So, it is really important to have somebody who's passionate, who can pass that all on to you. So speaking about passionate people, I'm going to pass over to Emma, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about air cabin crew.
So hello, my name's Emma and I'm, as Amber said, the air cabin crew tutor. So a little bit about myself and my background. I, like you guys, applied for a travel and tourism course, which I done at Norwich City College. After I left there, I got an office job, which I've got to say was pretty boring really, and I didn't enjoy it at all. So after kind of having a look into things, I thought, you know what, I really want to go and work abroad. So I worked in Tenerife for a few seasons and had lots of fun as a holiday rep over there. I then came back to the UK and again got another office job, which just didn't suit me at all. I think once you have that zest for travel, it's kind of in you. I then applied for my job for Virgin, and then I ended up flying around the world for 10 years, meeting loads of different celebrities, just loads of different friends and people that I'm still friends with now, even though I left obviously a few years ago. Once I left Virgin purely because I had 2 little girls. I have got to say though, you do not have to leave if you have children. That was a choice I made at the time, but I still have loads of friends that have children and still work as cabin crew. I was working at home. No, I wasn't. I was at home looking after my kids for a little while, but then I was really lucky to get my job as the air cabin crew tutor for East Coast College, which I absolutely love. I love teaching you guys, and it brings back all the old memories of Virgin for me. And as Amber said, once you're kind of in this industry, you're so passionate about it. You absolutely love what you do. And when I teach my students, I hope that does come across as well.
Excellent. So I'm just going to just speak for a few minutes. Obviously, there might be concerns about the state of the travel and tourism industry at the moment. So first of all, just wanted to banish some of the myths about the state of the industry at the moment. So It has been obviously the most disastrous year ever, or, you know, it's been over a year for the travel and tourism industry. It has been the worst year on record, worse than 9/11, worse than anything that's happened before. But what is happening, that the industry is bouncing back now. It is massively bouncing back. If you just did a little job search on local jobs in the tourism industry, you will find loads, because obviously we can't really travel much this year. So the UK is booming. There are loads and loads of jobs at the moment. And I'm getting inundated with emails of different employers that we work with asking our students to apply for roles at their organisations. So obviously, domestic tourism is going to be massive on the agenda this year, but come next year, once we're out of this traffic light system, which you might have read about on the news. So we have a traffic light system at the moment, green, amber and red countries you can go to. At the moment is a very small selection of 12 countries that we as British people are allowed to go to, but we can't actually go to all 12 of those because we obviously need to check the regulations at the other end. So it is actually about 3 countries we can, you know, realistically travel to. But that traffic light system is changing. More countries will be opened up as the time goes on. So it's not always going to be this way. This is just a blip. This is just a moment in time, and things are going to get better. So at the moment, bookings are through the roof, especially for Portugal, because it's one of the places that people can go. But bookings, forward bookings for 2022, even 2023, are seeing massive increases, 400%, 600% increases day on day. A lot of companies are doing recruitment drives at the moment. I looked at Jet2 last night, and there are about 20 different jobs in 20 different resorts where they are recruiting reps for next year. So if you come and did one of our courses, you would obviously finish it in a year or 2 years, you could go for those jobs. There is a wealth of them out there. There is no shortage. There is going to be a massive recruitment drive. There is also trends coming out at the moment. So trends that have occurred because of lockdown. Some of the ones that we're seeing at the moment is bucket list travel. So obviously people have not traveled for a while, so they are saving up money and they want to do big, amazing, special holidays. So, you know, your far-flung destinations like Australia, Southeast Asia, you know, even South America, places like that. So they are really, really getting booked up at the moment. Professional advice and guidance is also a trend, because where people have booked on the internet, you know, companies like Icelolly and Love Holidays, they're struggling to get refunds because they haven't actually booked with a reputable agent. So the rise of the travel agents is going to happen as well, and there'll be recruitment drives in travel agencies. Sustainable tourism, ecotourism is always on the agenda, but it's on it more so than ever before. Committed cruises is another trend for 2022. The cruise industry really has taken a massive, massive knock on this, but what they've done is moved a lot of ships to sail around the UK for the 2021 season, and then 2022 they'll be back in their international waters. But the bookings on cruises are absolutely through the roof at the moment. And then we've got nostalgia tourism as well, which is about people going back to places they've been before, where they're familiar, they know it's safe, and just going back for old memories, really, with, you know, family and loved ones. So some really good trends coming out. And I've got no concern at all that, you know, that you will find employment after your 1 or 2 year course. And we support you a lot with your employment and once you finish your course and your progression. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to have a look just at some slides. So we really want to talk to you about, you know, what we actually do on our course, because obviously that's very important. So in our department, we have got a range of different courses. We've got the level 2 cabin crew. We've got a 1-year travel and tourism diploma, a 2-year travel and tourism diploma, and then you can also progress into higher education at our East Coast College campus in Lowestoft and do the first year of a degree, which is your level 4 HNC. So you could go through all the levels of the course and really get some good solid experience. So then I will tell you a little bit now about what's actually on your program. So your entry requirement for the level 3 travel and tourism is to either have a qualification from school. So if you've done GCSE travel and tourism at school, or BTEC travel and tourism, or something similar, as long as you've passed that, I'm happy to accept you on the course. And also we are looking for a grade 4 in English and maths, or to be working towards a grade 4 in English and maths. But everyone is individual. So if you're not sure you can meet those requirements, please do get in touch, because I would like to speak to you, you know, before you rule anything out. Okay, if it's your passion, then we'll support you to follow that. Next slide, please, Amy. Thank you. Our travel and tourism department is amazing. I'm obviously going to say that, I'm very biased, but we do have a really, really fantastic programme here, and I have been to lots of other colleges to be a spy as well. So we do have lots of regular visits from local employers, industry experts, and our former students will come in and speak to you as well. So one of our regular visitors is Jet2 Holidays. They come in and speak to us every year. Where they haven't been able to, they've done virtual sessions with us. We also have the manager of Beccles and Lowestoft Co-op Travel comes in and speaks to you as well. We have travel counsellors, we have students that are working as reps, students that are working on airlines. So we have a whole host of basically experts coming in to speak to you and to meet you, and also sometimes to offer you some opportunities. We've got the best equipment and we've got the best classrooms in the local area. Our classrooms are big, airy, they're bright, and we've got a mock-up plane, which Emma will talk to you a little bit more about later. We're also your nearest provider who's going to offer you work placement. So work placement is really important for you to get experience on your CV. I wouldn't have had my career if I hadn't have got work experience. I did my work experience in a travel agent, and that basically led to all my opportunities in my life. But without that, I wouldn't have been able to follow the career path. So it's really important that you do have work experience. We do more units per year than any other provider. So we have you do about 8 units a year, and it's, you know, that basically gives you all the knowledge and skills to explore all the sectors of the industry. We've got fantastic progression routes. Our achievement rates are, you know, 100%, and there's also a huge amount of UCAS points attached to our new qualifications as well, if you're thinking of going on to do a degree programme. Thank you. I'm not going to talk about these in detail, but there's just a little idea there of some of the things you would be studying on the travel and tourism programs. So you'll be looking at, you know, the main things like being a rep, UK visitor attractions, lots about the global travel industry, destinations, customer service. If you look at that, it really gives you a massive scope of everything you need to know. And then you can hone in on one kind of area that you want to work in, and we can support you to progress into that. Thank you. What kind of careers? I'm sure you probably know some of these yourself. So there's a massive amount. This is a very small amount of the careers you can go into. But one of the ones that stands out on there, well, to me, being quite middle-aged at the moment, is travel blogger and travel influencer. So it was a bit of a coincidence that I was speaking with Jet2 last week, and they've just launched an influencer program where you can sign up and become an influencer for Jet2, and they will fund you to fly out to their destinations and do lots of kind of digital marketing on your social media while you're out there. These are opportunities that were not there a year before. So the industry is really kind of, it's getting up with the times. It's becoming digitalized. It's amazing. So these jobs on here, there'll be tons more next year, new jobs. So if you fancy being a travel influencer, this is the right course for you. Thanks, Amy. I'm just going to have a look at some of the trips we do. So we pride ourselves on doing a huge offsite program. It has been a little bit difficult in COVID times, and we haven't been able to travel, but in a normal year, we go to the World Travel Market every year, which is a meeting of all the professionals from the travel industry, and you get to learn about all the different countries, get lots of freebies, and we take, it's for the whole department, so it is travel and tourism and cabin crew as well, and it's a really nice day out. We also go on the Emirates cable car across the Thames as well, so that's a nice little thing to do as well. Thank you. And this one is the last, actually my last, I want to say holiday. It wasn't a holiday at all, it was work. But this was the last trip that we had in the department. So we went to Mallorca, we went to Magaluf, and I think there was about 30 of us went out there, and we did a bit of exploring of the traditional Spain, Soya, which is a little village in northern Mallorca. And then we did like the touristy things as well. So we did a 2-night residential. If conditions allow, next year we will be reinstating the overseas residential programme. My inklings at the moment is that a lot of the students who will be in the second year when you join want to go to Dubrovnik in Croatia. So it'd be really good to hear from you about where you would like to go for your overseas residential as well, because it isn't where I want to go, it's on the students where they want to go, and we vote on it basically. Thank you. There's just some more pictures of Mallorca. So we went in March. It wasn't that hot, but these pictures are deceiving. It looks like it was hot, so that's why I put them in there. So thank you. This is Winter Wonderland. So this is our Christmas trip. We go to Winter Wonderland, which is in Hyde Park in London when we are able to. And the reason we go there, we use it as a kind of a case study to look at emergencies and problems at big events and festivals. So we go there and we look at, the safety issues, security issues, how you would evacuate an event like that on a mass scale, what the kind of risk would be at an event like that. But we also go on all the rides and have a nice day out, and we go shopping on Oxford Street as well because it is Christmas. Thank you. And here's some pictures of Nicola from Jet2. So she's come to the college for the last 3 years and spoke to the students. Really, really useful source of information is Nicola, because she will, if you ask nicely, she will give you interview questions that they'll ask you at any job interviews for Jet2, and provides a lot of support for any careers within Jet2 holidays. This is Siobhan in these pictures. So Siobhan was a student with us about 6 years ago, and she went to work for Thomas Cook as a holiday representative. I mean, unfortunately, obviously, Thomas Cook are now just an online travel agent only, so they don't offer anything like this anymore. But she was so passionate, and she had an amazing job at Thomas Cook, which she loved, and we couldn't get rid of her. She wanted to talk about it so much. It was amazing. So the students really enjoyed it. Thank you, Amy. This is something that the students actually wanted to set up. So this is a project that we did, and we call it a real working environment. So we set up our own travel agency called East Coast Travel, and we would deal with queries and holiday requests from staff members and from family and friends. I mean, we obviously can't book the holidays because we don't have the insurance and everything, but we could give people quotes and build itineraries, and it would help the students to build up their knowledge. We had different departments within the classroom, and it was a really fantastic, project that we did, and it all gave them some good real life skills of working in a travel agency, but without actually being in one. So it's a really good day, and that this happens every year to build up your customer service skills. Thank you. Okay, so this one, we do festival volunteering. So the First Light Festival, the first one happened a couple of years ago. It has been cancelled for the last 2 years, but we have a really good link with the directors of First Light. So when the festival starts again next year, we will be volunteering, and we volunteered as stewards. Some of the students work with in the activities tent, and we help set up the event, and just stewarding, asking, talking to members of the public, making sure they're having a good time, showing them around. It was really good. Festival volunteering doesn't have to end there. You can apply for latitudes, and I will give you all the information if you wanted to do any festival volunteering in your own time. So I will provide you with information to carry on festival volunteering as well. Thank you. As I said earlier, placements are really important. They are, one of the most important parts of your course to build up your skills. So a lot of our students will mainly work in travel agencies, but we have good links with Potter's Holiday Resorts, Park Dean, lots of hotels in the area, TUI Travel, Host Seasons, and Fred Olsen Travel, which has just opened in Beccles. So really good opportunities there for placements. Thank you. We also do a guided tours unit, so where you would be showing around members of your group, and you would write your own guided tour on somewhere in Lowestoft, somewhere in Beccles or Yarmouth, Norwich or Cambridge. So you have a big selection of places, and you will lead a group around. So it's really nice to get out of the classroom and do some practical things. This is just some other random things that we've done. So it is actually quite random. There's a visit to the town hall in Yarmouth to meet the mayor. There was a day out at Go 8, which was an end of course celebration. And there's just some more little celebration pictures down the end there. Thank you. This is the Danny Boyle movie. So the Yesterday movie, I managed to get 50 tickets for us to be extras, and we ended up being in the film. Some of us were in close-ups as well, which was quite embarrassing. So that was a really good day out as well. And we also always put our students forward for awards where they deserve. So you might be in with a chance of winning, quite a high accolade at a Principals Wellbeing Award or a Principals Award. Okay, pass over to Emma, who's going to talk to you about air cabin crew for 5 minutes.
Hi, I was just going to have a quick chat about the actual course overall, and then we'll have a quick look at some pictures like you did there with Amy. Amber. So the course is based over 6 units. We go from the basic information, getting to know the terminology and backgrounds of the airline industry, talking about uniform, what's expected of us all. We talk about what happens before a flight. And if you're anything like me, when I first became cabin crew, I thought we just turned up to the airport and we got on the flight straight away. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. We have pre-flight briefings and we talk about what's going to happen on that flight, and you get to know your cabin crew and your flight crew. We then go through what we call security checks and equipment checks. We talk about the equipment that's on the aircraft, how we security and safety check an aircraft. And we talk about then what happens when we board passengers, what happens when we serve passengers, how we serve passengers, the different services that we have on board, such as, you know, your everyday trolley service to silver tray and, you know, duty free and bar services and stuff like that. We then go into the kind of nitty gritty of why we're on board the aircraft in the first place, which is our emergency procedures. So we kind of talk about what would happen if there was a fire on board, how we'd fight that fire, and we do fire training as well. What would happen in an emergency situation? So if we had an engine failure on board, what we would do in a planned and unplanned emergency. And then that goes on to what would we do after the event? So once we've had this plane accident, how would we survive in a hostile situation? Once we've gone all through that and we've spoken about what happens after we get off the flight, once we've landed safely, we then go through what would happen with applying for jobs. The interview process for a airline industry is very different to your everyday interview. So we talk about that. I help you with your CVs, covering letters to make them worthy of applying for an air cabin crew job. We then do a mock setup of our interview day to just get you practicing. We also do a lot of role plays, and we also have exciting days out. As Amber said, we go. I took my crew down to Virgin to their training academy. Hopefully this year we're going to go to BA if everything kind of carries on the way it is. We also go to the Aviation Academy in Norwich if we're able to. Again, with COVID restrictions, this year hasn't been quite as forthcoming as it has been in previous years. But yeah, we try and do as much as we can. So the entry requirements for the air cabin crew course is for grade 3 or D above at GCSE level, and this will include your maths and English. But as Amber said, if this is something that you're worried about, please contact us, because again, if you're really passionate, that's kind of what we're really interested in. Next slide, please, Amy. Here's some pictures of our fire safety training that we do within the college. We have they're not real fire, unfortunately. We weren't allowed to do that, but we practice using the fire extinguishers. And on the photo on the far right with all the students, they've got some equipment on board. We block out the front of their visors and we mimic of what it would be like in a cabin that's full of fire. So we do that over a few sessions. Next slide, please, Amy. This is our deep sea survival day. So this is what would happen once we've the plane has crash landed and we've landed at sea. We call it a ditching, and we practice on how we would survive in a deep sea situation. Every student absolutely loves this. We're really lucky that this is on site. We don't have to go anywhere for it. We just walk over, we use the facilities, and Malcolm, who takes the course, is absolutely brilliant. In the photos, you'll see that there's a life raft. So we practice rescuing each other. Your students will jump in from 4 meters above sea level and jump into the water. They do rope training. So as you can see, they're climbing a rope. And also I haven't got a photo here, but we have a helicopter scenario where they'll winch you out of the water. So it's a really fun day and everyone absolutely loves it and always wants to do it again. Next slide, please, Amy. This is an example of some of the equipment that we have here in the college. On the right hand side, you will see the back end of our rig, which is a line of 4 or 5 rows of aircraft seats. We've got hat racks, the galley area, which is behind the student there. And again, he was doing his fire training there and practicing how to find items that are hard to find in a smoke-filled cabin. We have jump seats and various equipment. So on the left-hand side, this is what we'd use in a ditching. It's a baby survival cot, a life jacket, and there's also an oxygen mask in there. There's a student in the middle demonstrating the oxygen mask. So we do, again, that's the first aid side of the course. And the other picture in the middle is the fire extinguishers that are used on board an aircraft. So we practice and use the equipment, we feel the equipment. And so when you get your job in an airline industry, you'll have that experience already. Next slide, please, Amy. So these are another day out, the Emirates Aviation Academy in London. On the bottom right-hand side, that's the academy in Norwich. So they have a life-size aircraft that we can go on. We can do proper security checks on there. And it just, everything that we then learn in the class makes sense because you can see it there in front of you. You can touch it. And I'd actually never seen an aircraft that up close before, even though I worked on them, because we always use jetways. So it was so nice to actually walk around the aircraft, have a look inside the engine, all up underneath and into the cockpit area, which you can see in the middle. And on that day, they also done flight rigs, or I think that's the right word, where they tried to take off an aircraft and land it. Not a real one, but you know, the computerized equipment that they have there. Next slide, please, Amy. So this is classroom-based assessments. If we're doing assessments inside the classroom, this is kind of basically what it looks like. On the left-hand side, that was our interview day. So that was when the students had to make a presentation up, present it back to us. And again, it's just experience for doing that when you're actually applying for a job. And on the right-hand side, that's a picture of us going through our safety procedures on a planned emergency. Lovely. So if you, once you've the progression, once you've done left school, you can go and do our travel to air cabin crew and go on to then level 3 travel and tourism. From your from the level 3 diploma, you can then go on to the level 3 extended diploma. Amber probably knows a little bit more about these, to be fair. So I don't know if you want to talk about this, Amber, or not, if you're happy for me to do it.
Yes, you can, as I said at the beginning, you can progress on to the level 4 HNC, or you can go to a different university. Some fantastic degrees out there at the moment, such as events and festival management, sustainable festival management, and the degrees are changing every year. There's really innovative degrees coming out. You can go onto an apprenticeship, full-time work, or further study. So loads and loads of different opportunities for progression. So I think, Amy, we are finished with the PowerPoint apart from the end. Yeah, so we can, yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Amber and Emma, for taking us through there. Lots of lovely photos as well, so you can see exactly the kind of things you'd be doing as well. So that's fantastic. I don't think we've had any questions in. I'm just going to have a quick look. I think you probably answered everything. It was a very in-depth review of our courses, so that's fantastic. So probably all that's left to say is that if you haven't yet applied, make sure you visit our website, www.eastcoast.ac.uk. It's on your screen at the moment. There you can find the course pages for our travel and tourism and air cabin crew courses, and you can hit the apply now button, and that will take you through to our online application form. Also, just to say, there's some contact details here for both Amber and Emma, and also on screen is our here to help email. So that's here to help at eastcoast.ac.uk. If you have got any questions about the particular courses, then I'm sure Amber and Emma are both happy for you to get in touch with them directly. If you've got any more general courses, perhaps about how to fill in your application or the kind of support that we can offer you here at the college, then feel free to use that here to help email, and a member of the team will get back to you and they can arrange a chat in person with you. So that's thanks again for joining us this evening, and thanks to Amber and Emma for taking us through our courses, and we hope to see you all very soon in the future. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.